So this is an experiment, a response to Stephen Fry, your comments in an interview about your atheism, your refusal to accept the definition of a God that you call a monster. A friend sent me a link to your interview, and this is my very first vlog, blog post. And what the hell, just spontaneously. The problem is this: your definition of atheism is based on, without question, an incredibly twisted and negative view of humanity and of the universe. Of course, we can all point to, and it's very distressing to notice whether it's children who are dying from bone cancer, as you mentioned, or other tragedies around the world. And your definition of a God who allows this sort of suffering to happen is one which you therefore take to necessitate the rejection of that kind of an evil or merciless God. I don't want to get into intellectual arguments about the teleological proof of God, or the ontological proof of God, or the eschatological truth of God. There are obviously many in terms of the creation of the universe and a first creator and what have you. But the question is this: God, however you consider him or her or it to be defined, created a universe that is so incredibly beautiful that if you're going to look at specifics, why focus on the negatives? It seems to me, in any case, for those with eyes to see, the positives far outweigh the negatives. Yes, there is incredible bestiality in the world. There are terrible tragedies, both tidal waves that are God-made, and more, I think, tragically, the injury caused by humanity to our fellow people, whether it's in wars or terror attacks or all the rest. And it's very disturbing. But look around you. Stephen Fry, when was the last time that you watched a sunrise every single day? When was the last time that you looked into the eyes of a newborn baby to just marvel at the miracle of conception and birth? You know what? I say look at. When was the last time you even thought about our capacity, the human capacity for those of us who have the privilege to actually look at things, to see the miracle which is the human eye, the nerve endings and the ability that we have to not just take in and appreciate the colors and wonders of the things around us, but to actually interpret them and then to describe them and to revel in them. It seems to me that your definition of God is incredibly narrow. And more than that, I would just end by saying that if you look back at different philosophical and religious traditions, and I base these comments on our aspects of our Jewish tradition, there's an understanding that God, however we describe him, her, it, supernatural force, creator of the universe, exists not just all around us, and exists not just as an actor in history and an actor in our lives and the controller of all that happens, including the misery that we suffer. And I don't pretend to understand the suffering, and I have unfortunately suffered a little myself, and I found in my understanding of God's benevolence and mercy and justice and truth and goodness, the basic goodness of the creator of the world, I found in that partially my strength to overcome the suffering, the small amount of suffering that I have experienced. And although I don't attempt or even pretend to be able to understand why I or anyone else has to suffer, either small or large sufferings, I know that with a combination of an understanding that God is good, and that the goodness that exists in my life, including the goodness that came after my suffering, having basically seen the breakup of my marriage and my family, turn into an opportunity for both personal growth and becoming closer with my children and my family, meeting somebody wonderful to share the rest of my life with and her family. There is a goodness in the world that I think that you're just taking for granted or ignoring when you focus so much on the misery in the world. I mean, I'm standing here in the valley, the Sorek Valley, which is not particularly beautiful if you compare it to Yosemite or to Yellowstone National Park or the Himalayas. But it's my little beautiful corner of the world, and I revel in that. I celebrate it. And I think that's what you're missing, that we all have to have an understanding of the goodness that is in our life, God and God's place in our lives, within us, within our loving embrace of our families, and otherwise as responsible for and contributing to all the good that's in this world. That's my first blog post, vlog, as a response to Stephen Fry. Hope you enjoyed it.